The WNBA playoffs are coming down to the wire. I'm joined by our two WNBA experts, Mason and Jenny, to break this all down. So Mason, who is a standout player in the WNBA?
Standout player in these playoffs certainly has been Lindsay Whalen. When she went out with an injury toward the end of the season, Minnesota had absolutely no way to figure out how to deal without her. You had Renee Montgomery, who's a very capable point guard, go in for her, but Renee is a shoot-first point guard, trying to score the ball. She wasn't able to facilitate between Maya Moore, Sylvia Fowles, Simone Augustus. Lindsay Whalen comes back, you have a fire in this team. And that's what's really been telling in these playoffs. I see no end in sight for the Minnesota Lynx.
See, to me, my question about Lindsay Whalen is, yes, she's an impact player. We know that she's great, but her biggest impact came from the fact that her absence just made the team look bad, but she didn't do anything necessarily to bring them over the top. They were going to beat the Mystics anyway. To me, the standout player is Kristi Tolliver, who single-handedly brought the Mystics with 9 threes, a WNBA record, to that semifinal against the Mystics.
Here's the problem with Tolliver. Her job in Washington is to facilitate between Elena Deladon and Emma Miesemann. And when she's hitting 9 threes, that's incredible. But she's not doing her job, and there's a reason that Washington lost that series.
She's a three-point specialist. That has nothing to do. She is not the reason Washington lost that series. They lost that series for multiple reasons. We're not going to go into that because that's not the question. However, the question is, who is the standout player in the playoffs? And if you're telling me someone who broke a WNBA record to single-handedly bring her team to the
playoff assist leader in the WNBA.
But that's not this playoffs. This is the standout player for this
She's averaging nearly a double-double between points and assists, not to mention all the intangibles she brings to the table.
That's fine. You can't measure intangibles, though. We're talking about someone who put up double-digit points in almost all of the playoff games.
And got swept. We're talking about a player that is the court general, is the most important asset of that team when you have all these all-stars.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna say it. We're going to agree that these are both amazing players. I guess we'll see in the end of this who ultimately is the best.
One's home and one's in the finals.
Well, that's a good argument. So, okay, who are we going to go with the title? Who's going to win this WNBA title?
Minnesota. They are the best all-around team. They have the best players. They have the player of the year in Sylvia Fowles. They're not going to lose again.
Oh, come on. I mean, they're great. They're a super team. I'm not going to argue with you, but every super team has their kryptonite. And to me, the LA Sparks is Minnesota's kryptonite. They just have some of the best clutch playoff performers. And yes, you can say Minnesota has some great teams, but there's something about LA that never says
But who did they lose last year? Kristi Tolliver, who you just mentioned. Without her, they didn't get a whole heck of a lot better, yet Sylvia Fowles adapted her game. You add more players. The bench is deeper with Rebecca Brunson and Renee Montgomery coming off the bench. Come on, it's Minnesota, hands down.
Here's the thing, though. I agree with you as far as as far as Minnesota being the deepest team. Yes, it is passionate. As far as Minnesota being the deepest team that's had the biggest steps up. But to me, one of the questions is, can they beat Candace Parker, Nneka Ogwumike? I think that those two are better than anybody on Minnesota.
It looks like it's going to come down soon. So, guys, thank you so much. What an interesting ending it will be to this WNBA season. Let's head to the lounge to see how we, including me, can improve our fantasy football teams.